that NASDAQ kept floating higher overnight. And
Did.
how's it doing now? I mean, it was just doing fine. Let's see, NASDAQ still, I mean, this is just such a strong one-way trade. Are you still in your NASDAQ trade, Frank?
On the demo account, I may or may not have got back in, but
Are you talking about
on
the prop firm account?
the FX2 account,
Yep.
I got back in, but on my my real account, I did not. I trailed out at I can't remember, but I made about, I'd say 3/4 of the profit as what it would have been, I guess, which is all right. But I really missed that trade. That I
Okay.
wish I held on, so could have watched it to like run more to the upside. But
Yeah. I mean, obviously hindsight 2020, and it's getting to that point, Frank, where sometimes I'm trailing a stop like this, and it's like part of me doesn't mind if it ends because I'm like, okay, I just want to like close out on the profit. But the other side of me just knows I've been doing this for so long, and you have as well, that sometimes these moves are just so ridiculous that if you hold on, it's like the most rewarding thing ever. So I'm kind of just torn. I'm going to let the market tell me when it's time to get out. I've trailed my stop. Sounds like you took a profit, so congrats on that trade. What are you looking at here going forward? Are you looking at any entries today? PPI came out, another pretty solid report, though the dollar is bouncing a little bit. What do you think today? Any setups?
so no, been more so still managing what I have. I'm still in gold.
Okay.
I I want to see a continuation higher because this lower inflation number should be kind of a boost for sentiment. At least we've seen CPI and PPI come down in the past 2 days, so that's a good sign. Um, but gold's initial reaction was kind of bearish, so I guess we'll see. Other than that, maybe some more yen pairs. I have been looking at CAD yen and pound yen, but it's just been a harsh sell-off for both pairs, which has been tough to try to read on when to get in, and the direction has flipped. But otherwise, it looks like kind of a larger pullback in an uptrend. So I don't know, maybe today if it breaks out of this channel. So
Yeah, that could be interesting. And I think, the yen pairs are increasingly interesting. When you get these like 6 days in a row sell-offs, it starts to, bring into question whether or not that uptrend that is kind of falling apart. But it also brings into interest a lot of the bigger term dip buyers, right? Like the longer term traders start taking a look at this and like, okay, now we might be able to get some value on this currency pair or on this, whatever they're trading, index, or, those bigger pullbacks. They can kind of rule out some of the day traders. The day traders might just say, oh, this thing is bearish now. But then the bigger term picture, the day chart traders, things like that, they start taking a look at it a little closer. Anyways, Frank, I wanted to ask you just a little bit about the EDGEFINDER here today. I thought this was cool. I sent you a message this morning. I don't know if you saw it on Discord. I was so excited with some of the recent behind the scenes guys, just a little. Frank and I chat EDGEFINDER all the time on the stream. And, Frank and I are developing it together all the time. I thought this was really cool, Frank. Yesterday we had CPI number come out and essentially it was a home run hit. What's so cool to us is that behind the scenes, we're developing, coding, building the algorithm that you guys see on the EDGEFINDER. To me, what's so cool is that we now see with that inflation report, automatically the EDGEFINDER has picked out the U.S. indices look strong now. What's your reaction to that, Frank? Do you think that is as cool as I think it is?
I do, and I'm glad we changed the way of scoring overall for the indices with inflation and measuring change and seeing how that affects it as well. Change in forecasts are the two primary drivers, I think, in like indices and commodity sentiment.
Hey Frank, did you get that EDGEFINDER work done I asked you about?
Yeah, I did, but why did you have me do this? I don't get it. I mean, why did we take away half of it?
Oh yeah, this looks just so much better. You can really read right here especially. You get everything you want just in one spot. It looks the greatest it's ever looked. Come on Frank, you get it. It makes so much more sense now. Keep it like that forever, really. Right now, for a limited time, get the EDGEFINDER half off. Yes, 50% off the EDGEFINDER. Slash that price in half and get your hands on the tool today by messaging us down below using the link in the description or in the chat right now. Keep it like that forever, really.
Yeah, sure. So I have a euro and a US dollar trade open. So it's a long one. And basically, just quickly, let me run you through the methodology. So what I was seeing some strong momentum, 3 consecutive blue candles, very, very large size. And then we continue to get a 1 candle pullback. So this high is a bit lower. It's 327. This one is 335. And then the next candle continues with a strong momentum with a nice clean close, meaning no wick. So then I just set an order for a break and a retest, got tagged in, and currently running in some profit. So I'm trailing my stop, and my stop is currently 2 pips below this level right here. So that's the one trade that I have, and the next one I'm looking to take is on the pound. So if this candle closes blue in the next 9 minutes, I will be taking this flag formation. So basically the flag formation is the first high, first low, second high, second low, kind of looks like a flag. And I just enter on the first bullish candle after the flag forms. What I'm seeing here is I'm seeing a V reversal, a range, and a continuation to the upside. Usually this starts a nice uptrend. So these sort of formations, especially when you have the prior price action also moving to the upside. So this is very, very high probability in my personal opinion. If this closes red, I will not be taking a trade. I need a blue candle, and that's about it for me. I mean, I want to get in on some other pairs as well. Everything is moving, everything is looking very good. So EJ, definitely looking for a buy, but not just yet. Aussie US dollar seeing a bit of a rejection now on the top. Aussie Japanese yen definitely trending heavily to the upside, so that has potential. The pound I just went over, and NJ definitely looking to get in on a buy. So on my watch list I have EU, I have AU not that much, but AJ, GU, and NJ. That's it.
Okay, very cool. You know, Marco, and I'm excited to hear what Miko thinks on this too, because you know, this week for me has been a week of really hard to find entries. Now, I will say I was fortunate enough to be in a trade prior to this week. I picked something up Friday that has been running. I picked up the NASDAQ, and it's continued to push higher and higher, which has been great because I've been able to trail a stop. But in terms of like new trades, it's been really hard for me to pick up new things. So I think it's incredibly interesting, Marco, that in this week, and again, this is when we talk differences in styles, you seem to be far more like engaged, active. You're like, okay, things are moving the way I like them to move. So sometimes kind of, I feel like Miko and myself were a little bit more on the, you know, breakout retest, looking for those opportunities on like the 4-hour kind of thing. And then Marco, it's kind of cool to see you like really able to take advantage of some of these sort of moves, and you're very, very specific. You're very calculated with kind of getting involved in these regimented moves. You've got NJ on the screen right now. Like for me, I'd have to wait for a pullback, but to hear your style and you're like, I'm in there taking advantage of that push. Really, really cool. So thanks for sharing. Miko, what do you think? I mean, so I look at Euro and I'm like, man, this is hard for me to I can't get in on this. I've got to see a pullback. And if I just show you guys real quick my Euro chart, what I'm thinking here, just to put a picture to what I'm talking about, big breakout happened. And you know, let me see if I can just share my screen. There we go. Okay, so big move happens, and I didn't catch this trade. I think I just wasn't looking at it. But you know, if I'm looking at this is something that I struggled to take an entry on. Miko, what do you think? You know, big moves this week. Are you in anything? I know you were trading dollar Swiss. What's the update on that?
Yeah, dollar Swiss finally came through actually last week. So last week. So yeah, I completely agree with you as well. I'm kind of in a similar boat as well. Dollar Swiss, I was short back over here, and then the caught nicely to the downside. I had my target around about here. So I was stuck in this ugly consolidation for about 3 weeks, and then eventually it broke to the downside and tagged me out. So it was worth the wait. And this week I was in some longs on pound USD, which I'm currently out. It hit my target for that one. Luckily, pound USD gave me a good pullback into this area here. So again, talking about pullbacks, and it gave me a nice signal there on the hourly with that in bullish engulfing, and caught a nice move to the upside to around about 1.3, and that exited that position. But pairs like Euro USD, that one's flying. A lot of the yen pairs previously as well, they've been flying as well. As the USD is flying as well. Gold has had a massive push to the upside, so I'm waiting for pullbacks on gold too. So I'm in the boat where I'm waiting for some pairs to retrace, and the way I trade, I like break and retest. So if the market breaks through a level and continues to go quite far, I need the market to pull back onto that same level. And sometimes the market doesn't do it and just keeps going, and that's just not an opportunity for myself to take. So I'm kind of waiting for some pullbacks, and my main focus is kind of dollar pairs. So gold, I'm looking for some break and retest for some longs. Dollar CAD as well, I'm waiting for some pullbacks as well for some lower highs, potentially retest some structure up there. So I like this area here. We briefly stopped, create some support, potentially could go and tap that area and some continuation lower. And as the USD, massive breakout to the upside, obviously from yesterday, fresh level of resistance now turned support as well. I'll be more than happy for a pullback onto that level, but again, very, very far away. We probably won't see that this week, if at all. So I'm definitely the same boat as you.
Yeah, and see that's the thing, Miko. If I'm being so honest, sometimes these sorts of weeks, even though I'm in a NASDAQ trade, which is great, I really, I have no reason to complain if you're in on it. But there's certainly been times where I don't have a trade on, and these weeks are incredibly frustrating because I'm like, okay, that was the move I wanted, I didn't get it, and now I'm sitting here waiting and just, kind of fingers crossed it gives me a chance, gives me a pullback. But again, I also, a lot of times people will hop on the streams and they'll say, why don't you short these moves if you think they're overextended? And for me personally, a move like this, we've got NZD USD pulled up. This is, for me, not a move that I would be comfortable shorting. It's clearly very, very strong. Now, if I were to take any trade, it's probably the same concept, looking for that proper retracement on that. Same things with things like gold. I've got gold pulled up here. Gold, big explosive move. These are moves that obviously I wish I was involved in this, but all I can do, many traders find themselves like, okay, well, let me short it back and then I'll pick it up long over here. And, they're trying to trade both directions. And while there are people certainly who can do that sort of thing, I find the easiest trades, quote unquote, for me would be, even though it's painful sometimes to wait for those retracements and see if we can find an opportunity.
Yeah, I was looking at some longs for some yen pairs coming into this week, particularly ANSD-JPY and AD-JPY. But both of them have moved without me after the back of CPI yesterday. I had some good areas of confluence for both of these pairs. Had a lovely resistance level here around 86, and we had this kind of long-standing trend line as well, connecting these major swing lows, 1, 2, and possibly a third one. And this was my area of confluence. I was waiting to see if I can get some entry signals in that area. Same thing with AUD-JPY as well. This one, again, a long-standing trend line from the lows to, well, potentially the new low created just now. And also we had a lovely resistance here as well, which I was looking for a retest of. So again, both of them very, very close to my areas of confluence, but both of them just missed out on it after the back of CPI. So those are the kind of the only yen pairs I was looking at. Other yen pairs like euro yen, pound yen have seen some downside, but for me as a swing trade, I don't really want to be shorting the yen pairs, maybe apart from dollar yen, but I don't want to be shorting the yen pairs like euro yen and pound yen. These are still, kind of the bigger picture is still very to the upside. So I'm very cautious about looking to short some of these yen pairs, and I'm still trying to long. Dollar yen is a little bit different though, because that one's really dropped to the downside, like 700 pips. I measured from the high to the low, so that one's really made a move to the downside. So I could see some correction and then possibly maybe a lower high to move back down to the low. So I'll keep an eye out for that, which may take a few days to set up. So I'll keep an eye on that. But other yen pairs, I'm not really focused. Dollar's my main focus at the moment.
GJ, for example, to me would be a pair that looks really intriguing on the long side, but it's got to show signs. And I think that, this is actually kind of promising in terms of if we had the daily chart trend line there that we talked about on yesterday's stream. Nice little overall uptrend. Here's the 1 hour chart. And we did get a little bit of a breakout. So, GJ doing doing some work here, I think. It will be interesting to see if we get some pullbacks. We kind of already did get a little bit of
Yeah,
pullback here. But yeah,
this
go
would
ahead.
fit my
Marco.
plan. Yeah. So this would kind of fit my plan for a break and a retest, basically. I'm seeing a descending channel, push up, small pullback. So it was GJ, right?
GJ, yes. Pound pairs in
So
general seem to be moving nice.
On the 4 hour, or actually on the 1 hour as well. So I'm not trading this one live, but basically what I'm seeing here is a nice descending and a definite momentum shift to the upside. So this looks very, very nice. 3 consecutive blue candles, small pullback, no red candles. I mean, they're not that big. We continue, nice break, definitely a strong close. So yeah, this would definitely fit my plan if I was trading this, definitely.
So Marco, to follow you on that, you're looking for here in order to enter. Would you be entering like right on the open of this candle that we're currently on kind of thing? Or would you wait for a minor pullback? And what would kind of tell you like, okay, time to hit the button kind of thing?
So I'm just waiting for the hourly closes, 1 minute before the hour closes. So this opened at 13 o'clock my time, closed at 14. So at 13:59, I'm at the charts waiting for this to close. If this closes like this, I'm setting a pending order immediately after the close at the level that I want. So basically same as like on the pound just now. So a flag did not form in the end. We did break the high before the candle closed, but now I'm looking for that retest of this level. So I do have a pending order right here. That would be an example.
Okay, very, very cool. I want to show you guys something too. One way I'm very always intrigued by Marco's style because again, it is kind of like a very momentumous style. You're not even waiting for, you know, the pullback. But I want to show something. You know, sometimes people might be a little bit confused by that. They'd be like, Marco, you're buying it near the highs of that move. But what's really cool is, you know, what we often see is that retail traders typically they fade moves. Like that kind of seems to be the common theme. I can't get it to pull up here for some reason, but maybe we'll have to come back to it. But just generally speaking, the point I was trying to make is that usually when we see like these big pushes in one direction, it's actually the retail trader on average that is looking to short a move that goes up. So let's actually look at just while we're here, we'll take a look at like GJ, see if we can find some comparable examples there. You can actually see while it's loading GU 90% short right now. So like when we go back to that GU, again, we pull this data from a couple retail Forex brokerages. What's interesting here is that, again, you know, people might say, why would you buy this right here? Well, just be aware that the average retail trader, which loses money, is actually very short. So it's really interesting to look at the psychology. Again, people think that's crazy, yet again, the retail crowd is shorting a move like this. And specific to our concept on GJ, you can kind of see it here. I'll read it out to you. 21% of retail traders are on the long side and 79% are shorting this rally on pound yen. And the reason, again, that is so intriguing is that you look at a move like this and you say, oh, that's, you know, many retail traders, their first reaction to this is short this. It's gone up. It's time to sell it off, right? It's very, very intriguing to study retail psychology. And, you know, I'm not talking about stop hunting or anything like that. I'm just talking generally speaking, if you know objectively from brokerage regulation requirements to release how many of their clients are losing money, if you know that they are losing money at a very high rate and they're all short on something, it does ask the question, is that something that you might actually want to be long on?
Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free EDGEFINDER, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.